Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're checking out ranking the US states from ugliest to most stunning.
Ooh, it's a lost here, and I guess this could be controversial. I guess
it's opinionated.
And I don't know if Lawrence has been to all states. I don't think he has.
No, I don't.
So it's going to be a little bit of opinion on what he's seen online, I'm guessing. But I'm here for the list. Lawrence is always a fair judge, isn't he? And yeah, this maybe will help shape where we go potentially in sometimes, you know? Maybe not. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. In the comments below, give us your top 3 most stunning states. Yeah?
Yeah.
You could have visited them, you didn't have to, maybe you've seen them online and you think that state is the most stunning. Let us know in the comments, it'll be super interesting. We'll get in and we'll like some we agree with, and if we don't agree, we'll let you know about, interesting choice. Yeah? Smash that button, smash the subscribe button, and let's get into it. Ranking US states from ugliest to most stunning. What we got? Ooh, Lawrence just froze. Lawrence? Hello? There we go. And by the way, subscribe to us and hit your notification bells. Right, you ready?
Yeah.
Let's go.
That I'd been to 25 US states, and in the comments, many of you asked me, Lawrence, which one is the most beautiful out of all of the states you've visited? And that gave me a light bulb moment. What if I objectify the states by ranking each of them on their physical attributes? In other words, ranking the landscapes and general nature of each state from utterly repulsive to truly stunning. And to do this, I'll be using something that YouTubers have never used before, a tiered list. So throughout, states will be placed into one of 6 categories. The best and most beautiful being a North American 10, followed by strong potential, looks decent in warm lighting, 3 out of 10, which I only realised during the edit should really have been something more generous, like 5 out of 10. So if I rank your state 3 out of 10, it's actually 5 out of 10. I just wanted to make that clear so that you don't come after me in the comments unless you also think 5 out of 10 is harsh. Indiana, and instantly forgettable. Because 25 states is quite a lot for one video, I'm making the executive decision right now that this will be a 2-part special. So if you want to be notified about part 2 and you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, do that now.
So I'd like to just make a comment and say that his title's a lie. Is it?
No,
does it say all?
It doesn't. Well, it doesn't say. In theory, he is ranking US states.
Okay, yeah.
So it doesn't say all of them.
Fair enough.
But it's in 2 parts. So if the second part's out, I assume it is. Sorry, babe. Do you want us to check it out? Let us know. Add it to your 3 states comments.
In the meantime, these are the 25 states in question, and these are my correct opinions about them.
Oh, he's only doing what
by virtue of the fact that for some reason I've not been to any states beginning with A. California is up first, and I've been to California 3 times, twice to San Francisco, once to LA, and I think most Californians will probably tell me, Lawrence, those are not even the best looking parts of the state. Isn't it sort of unfair to rank an entire state by its natural beauty when you've only been to a very small portion of it?
It is stunning.
You know what? Life isn't fair. Get used to it. That said, I think that San Francisco Bay is very picturesque. And then it's got places like Yosemite National Park, Mojave Desert, which I've seen on film. Since this is based on my experiences, I can't give it a North American 10. I think I'm going to have to put it under strong potential, and I'll see more of it in the next.
I'd agree with that. It is absolutely stunning. It's close to North American 10, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Again, we haven't been to Yosemite or anything like that, but San Francisco was stunning. And like I always remember coming up the cable carts and seeing Alcatraz and stuff like that, and it just looked absolutely stunning. But
I think that there was parts in LA that were pretty too.
Yeah, LA had some, like Santa Monica was lovely as well, wasn't it? And stuff like that.
40 years. It's a bit of a similar story with this next one, which is Colorado. I flew into Denver International Airport and then was bussed to this town called Westminster, which is not even the most beautiful Westminster. But along the way, in the distance, I could see mountains and things like that, so that was nice. And it seemed like it had some good trees and stuff, so that makes it high on the list. And I just know from the top of my head that Colorado is considered one of the most picturesque states.
It does look beautiful.
Rocky mountains and whatnot. I didn't get close enough to any of them. Mostly what I saw was a road. I'm tempted to go with either 3 out of 10 or strong potential. There's like no in between with that one, except for looks decent.
I feel like from the pictures we've seen, again, I understand it's off his experience. That's got to be strong potential, hasn't it?
I feel like the mountains make it look good.
Yeah, I love it with the white top on the mountains. Even if you're in like a little village, you can see that. I think it looks stunning. But again, each to their own.
lighting. But I am going to go strong potential.
Okay,
some of the videos I've
there you go.
seen make me think that Colorado could be marriage material if you could marry pieces of land. And apparently, I have been to Connecticut en route from New York City to Boston. The only thing I remember about it was seeing the WWE headquarters through some trees, which
That's pretty cool.
does remind me that the state has trees. But other than that, I'm not remembering much. Also, and I don't remember where in Connecticut this was, but we stopped at a lovely...
Fair enough.
It's got to be put in instantly unforgettable then, hasn't it?
Probably.
Oh, forgettable, sorry. It's got to be, surely.
A nice cheeseburger. The unfortunate thing about this is that rest stop was man-made, so I can't include it in this evaluation. I'm waffling. It was instantly forgettable.
Yeah.
Sorry, Connecticut. I'm sure if I were to go back,
let us know if that's
fall
accurate.
in love with it. But first impressions are everything.
Yeah.
Is it
Delaware.
Rhode Island?
Not
Delaware.
a lot is known about Delaware from people outside of Delaware. And this included me up until accidentally visiting the state a few years ago. And you might be thinking, ooh, Lawrence, how do you accidentally visit a state? I don't know. We were trying to visit friends in Maryland and took a wrong turn and ended up in Wilmington, which seemed like a pleasant place. They had a river,
That's
which I
nice.
photographed.
Very nice.
Look at this. Beautiful. But again, if all you've got going for you is a river, then you better make up for it in personality. And I don't know if Delaware has
What's
a
wrong
nice
with the river?
personality because I didn't see any people. But it's not instantly forgettable. It's certainly not Indiana. I think I'm going to go with 3 out of 10. And before I get negative comments from all 4 people, I think this has potential to go up. But you've got to show me more. I've just realised that's
Well,
on me.
he's got to experience more, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like some of this isn't Delaware's fault. It's Lawrence's fault for not exploring, you know?
Connecticut.
It should have just spent time, yeah. Florida.
I was 8
I
years
feel like
old
this is going to
when
be
I
high.
visited Florida, and I have to say, I thought Earth outdid itself when it produced Space Mountain. Like, the tectonics involved alone were astronomical. But because most of my attention at that age was taken up by toys and rides, I don't know that I took in a lot of my natural surroundings. However, I do have some caveats. I did go to a Floridian beach, so I've checked that off my list and can therefore pass judgment. It was a pretty standard beach called New Smyrna, but I saved the life of a fish that had been washed ashore.
Wow.
I remember this like clear as day, and I picked it up in my hand
a memory.
and I threw it back in the sea and just felt really good until it washed back up. And died. Florida introduced me to a couple of things. I mean, I, for instance, saw a lizard or something green with a tail. It was also the first place that I encountered palm trees. Florida, of course, is the flattest state in the land, so that probably reduces its aesthetic appeal, along with hurricanes. But I think I'm going to have to go with looks decent in warm lighting.
Wow. I would have thought, like, because again, he's not been to him, I guess, and we've not been to him either, but going off experience, like is it the
Key West.
Key West, that's exactly what I was thinking, yeah. Like that area down there, from what we've seen, looks incredibly stunning. Like that bridge as well. And I feel like that has got to put in strong potential. Do you know what I mean? Even if you've not been there.
Yeah. But I guess you got to go and look where you've been.
Yeah. But it was 8. So I think you've got to go with a bit of
online. Changed since he was 8 too.
Yeah, might be even better, might be worse. Let us know in the comments again. I feel like that should have been higher.
Yeah.
Idaho.
A few years ago, before I became a YouTube sensation, I worked for a company that sent me out on business trips to Idaho. And while you do spend a lot of your time on business trips in a conference room, I did get to see a lot of what this state has to offer. And it gave me a lot of firsts. I mean, I saw my first bald eagle in a place called Lake Coeur d'Alene
Catching a fish
in
as
southern
well.
Idaho. I found the Oregon Trail, somehow without losing my family to typhoid. And in Boise, the capital, I climbed up my first ever Rocky Mountain. Why did you do that, Lawrence? It's a sad story. My cat died that day.
This is so weird.
What?
And only you will get it.
Okay.
Does that not look like your boss?
A tiny bit. Tiny
see
bit.
what I'm
with
going
longer
with?
hair, yeah.
Do you
a tiny
see
bit.
where I'm going?
A little, not. I wouldn't say too much, but I see
Can you
where
see
you're getting
why
it
I'm
from.
getting it
Yeah,
from?
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's not for you guys.
Why did you do that,
Lawrence is
Lawrence?
also not James
It's a
Bond.
sad story. My cat died that day, and I thought to myself, what would he have done if he was stuck in a hotel room all day? He would have climbed, not mountains,
That's inspirational.
the furniture, but the sentiment remains. And it was beautiful, honestly, being this high up and looking down over the majestic city of Boise. And I just thought, wow, you don't seem to hear much about Idaho from a human standpoint, but Earth did a really good job. I think on looks, I'd have to give this one a North American 10.
Okay.
But like say, he's hit the 10 because he's actively gone out and gone to a stunning place and been like, yeah, this is actually stunning. Do you know what I mean?
And now we come to Illinois, the state that I currently live in. And I've been all over the state, and what can I say? It's pretty dull. I mean, that's harsh. You know, Chicago here is, of course, situated along Lake Michigan. There are perfectly beautiful parks like Starved Rock, but it is the second flattest state. There's not a lot other than soy fields and cornfields and the occasional river of the Mississippi variety, but it's no California. If anything, it's Indiana, and that's what I'm going to rank Illinois.
Wow, Illinois is in Indiana.
And you might be thinking, Lawrence, what counts as Indiana? Well, let's talk about Indiana because that's the next state alphabetically. Indiana was the first state that I lived in after moving to the United States, and it shares various properties with neighboring states, and those properties seem to be what I just said: cornfields, soy fields, barn houses, but they're man-made. Some decent birds, decent animals, nothing to write home about. You don't see a grizzly. Like when I was in Idaho, one of the leading headlines was "Grizzly Bear Attacks Chicken Coop." And you might think, well, this sounds like Indiana is instantly forgettable, which is your last category. I don't think it is instantly forgettable. I mean, I've been all over Indiana too, and there are certain places, pockets like the Dunes up north, French Lick Hotel Resort down south, and southern Indiana in general that are actually quite nice. But outside of those things, Indiana just feels like one big farm. And don't get me wrong, we need farms, but at least bring in some alligators or something. Anyway, I can't decide if I want to...
They've got grizzly bears.
But alligators in Indiana, I don't think that's going to work.
Yeah, just whack them in a few ponds.
Because aren't they like in Florida and stuff?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, grizzly bear. That's quite scary and cool.
I don't know that I'd be ranking a state down for having them. Like,
I don't think he has
for
ranking
not
down
having
for having
them.
them.
No, for not having them.
Yeah, because they are deadly.
Yeah, like
file this on 3 out of 10 or Indiana. It's between the two. We'll go with Indiana, but only just.
Okay.
Now, just
If
south
you've got
of
one
Indiana,
called Indiana,
both
you've got to
on
go
the
Indiana.
US map and in the alphabet, is Kentucky. And I've been to Kentucky a few times. And Kentucky feels like a continuation of southern Indiana. There's lots of rolling hills. And when you get to Louisville, there's some nice man-made bridges over the Ohio River.
I like that
so
one.
I think that Kentucky has a little bit going for it in that respect. And
yeah, it's quite a funky design, isn't it? And about like this bit here, it just goes up randomly. Yeah, it's funky.
Over the Ohio River. So I think that Kentucky has a little bit going for it in that respect. And this might be a bit biased, but Kentucky is also where I saw the 2017 solar eclipse. So I think I'm going to put this under looks decent in warm lighting.
Okay. Even with the eclipse though. Do you know what I mean? Like that's got to boost it quite a bit, and he's only putting looks decent. Interesting. Maine.
And I would do that for Maine, which is next on the list, but Maine isn't really synonymous with warm lighting. I visited Portland in 2004, and Portland is itself quite a majestically pleasing place, especially for somebody who grew up on the east coast of Britain, with the waves crashing against the rocks. It sort of felt like bits of Scarborough, but with more lobster. I don't remember much other than lots of trees. I think Maine is sort of known for. I do have sort of vague pictures of it, and I remember getting a feeling of, oh, I could live here, you know, for 3 months out of the year. So I think Maine has strong potential.
Strong potential, yeah, fair play. This is Maryland.
And then we get onto a state that I mentioned earlier, Maryland. It seemed all right. Not a lot sticks out to me, other than the fact that it's located near Chesapeake Bay, and there were trees. This is becoming quite a theme. But it's a theme that for most states that are east of the Mississippi. So that's not really saying much. But what I saw in Maryland was the parts that are quite flat. There wasn't anything that jumped out at me to say, Lawrence, this should be featured in National Geographic. And I think Maryland, it's a 3 out of 10 at best.
Okay, fair enough.
Maryland is where your cousin lives.
Yeah, we need to ask them what they think of it, because Maryland, to me, sounds, and from what I've seen, looks stunning. So 3 out of 10 at best is quite low, isn't it?
Yeah.
Again, please let us know. I feel like that's harsh, but let us know.
Massachusetts is a difficult one. I've been to Boston and to some places in and around that area. I don't have much of a memory of any of it really, and not just because I was really drunk, but because there was nothing that stood out. You know, why can't Massachusetts have a volcano or something just to liven things up a bit?
Yeah, just that exciting
when you're in
thing.
a Greyhound bus and you have to stay alert of the people around you, you don't want to be falling asleep, and that's pretty much what I did. Great time in Boston, don't get me wrong. Great city, great man-made skyline, but you've got to work on your topography and wildlife. This one's going under instantly forgettable. Hope I don't get more complaints from Matt Damon.
That's one on my list as well.
Yeah, you want to go Massachusetts?
And then
let us know in the
Michigan.
comments,
It's going to be really hard to rate this one because Michigan as a whole has all of these massive, some might even say great lakes around it, which of course is going to increase your physical beauty. It's just that I haven't seen any of that. I've been to Ann Arbor, great stadium there, don't get me wrong, really enjoyed the game. But in some respects, it was a bit like Indiana, which makes sense, they are joined. But at the back of my head, I was thinking to myself, if I were to visit Mackinac Island, which is this place where they haven't invented cars yet, I probably would have a completely different view on this. So you almost want to put it under strong potential. But those first impressions have let me down. So I think I'm going to compromise here and give it 3 out of 10. It's a bit above Indiana, and I know for a fact that it has more lighthouses than any state in the nation. So for that, it's 3 out of 10, which, as Meatloaf said, isn't bad. That was 2 out of 3. And that's it for part 1 in this list that I'm sure everybody in the...
There you go, part 1.
That was good.
I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, smash that like button and that subscribe button, you absolute legends. It was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm interested for the next ones.
Yeah, super interested. People are asking us about the music channel. We don't know what's happening with that, do we? Maybe we'll start putting music on here.
Maybe.
Do you guys want to see music on here? Do you know what I mean? We could start putting the ones we've already uploaded onto here and then do it on here as a filler video or something like that. Let us know in the comments. It's just hard to try and record for 2 channels at the moment, isn't it? But let us know in the comments below. Really enjoyed that. Let us know if you want us to check out part 2 and watch the video.
Have a fantastic day.
And see you legends in the next one. Peace.